Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to go over why soft skills are extremely important when it comes to landing your first job in tech or really any career. So I have some notes here because I wanted to make sure I get all the points I wanted to get across out. So the first thing I want to mention is when it comes to soft skills, it's all about communication. It doesn't matter where you work, it doesn't matter who you work with, you're going to have to communicate with people, whether it's either remotely or in person. So you need a foundational skill of being able to have those soft skills, right? So whenever someone sends you an email, you need to be able to respond to that email promptly and in a way where it's you have all the information, all the details they need, in a way where once you do that, it's going to be clear. Because at the end of the day, we as business people, we work for businesses, right, or governments, and these places have different people, coworkers who work in different areas. So you're going to have to be able to communicate promptly and quickly, especially within tech, because you know how it is with tech. There's a lot of in demand things that we do. And if you can't really adapt and be able to communicate in that sort of manner, you're going to struggle. And that leads on to my next point, which is adaptability. So here's the thing, when you're communicating, you're going to be communicating in different ways. For example, if you're communicating with a manager, you're not going to be communicating the same way with if you're communicating with the CEO, right? Because you have to remember what you're doing depends heavily on who you're speaking to. If you're speaking to someone who's not as technical and doesn't really understand that side, then you're going to have to explain it in a very high level manner or something where it's very easy to understand, because sometimes maybe you're working with stakeholders who don't know it or a customer who's not aware. You don't want to speak very technical to that person, like your coworker, and assuming they understand um, your back end or something like that, right? So you got to have some of that awareness to some degree. So that's where a lot of people sort of struggle with. Is I notice sometimes when they're communicating, they're saying terms that they haven't, maybe that particular person hasn't heard about. And if you're saying those terms, because every company has their own lingo, and if you're saying these terms, you have to come from their perspective and understand that maybe it's different for them. So you want to speak to certain people with a different manner, or if you're speaking to someone above you, you have to speak to them in a different manner. So this is something that you have to practice upon and get better at. So when it comes to your soft skills, it's something that can be improved upon. It's not something that you do it one time and you're done. No. With soft skills, it's you do it, you iterate, you do it, you iterate, you do it, you iterate. Don't be the person who just basically says, hey, I'm just going to focus on my technical skills and not actually work on my soft skills. Because I think there's a stat somewhere, don't quote me on this, I'm just going to say what I think was heard. Basically, if you want to increase your salary, the easiest way to increase your salary isn't by getting another certification or by improving your technical skills in a certain area. It's by improving your soft skills. Because once you improve your soft skills, you can command a higher salary by being able to negotiate yourself, being able to sell yourself, being able to communicate with even within your job to show your prowess in communication and being able to explain things to people or teach people that may give you better opportunities. Maybe you go into speaking engagements. There's a lot of different things you guys can get into, right? But social skills, soft skills, very important. Please spend a lot of time. And in terms of how do I get better, one of the easiest ways to get better at soft skills, the easiest way is what I'm doing now. I'm recording a video on my iPhone right here, and I'm just speaking. I'm not talking to anyone. I'm just talking to a microphone. Practice. In the beginning, you're not going to be great. You're going to be actually horrible. You're actually going to hate it. You're not going to want to do it. So you're going to probably struggle for the first month or 2 months. But once you get past it, you're going to get better and better and better. But the problem is most people don't want to take that time. So they end up just after maybe either first or second or third video, they just stop recording it. So it's up to you. Like I said, the return on investment on your soft skills are incredibly high, extremely high, right? So don't negate that. Don't ignore that. And if you do, just know that you're at a massive disadvantage if you're not improving upon it, especially in the age of AI, right? I mean, how can you differentiate yourself? You have to think of it that way. So number 3 is problem solving, being able to have your soft skills during problem solving. So whenever you're troubleshooting a situation, especially as a network engineer, you're troubleshooting a lot. And when you're troubleshooting, here's the thing: you're communicating sometimes on a what is known as a bridge call, a bridge, right? So that is basically a sort of Zoom call or WebEx call where maybe you have maybe 10 people on that call, and you join the call. You got to be able to say hello to everyone. You got to be able to address them depending on who's the leader and in what role you're in. You have to be able to address them, speak your manner, or speak in terms of what your role is and what you do. That way you can effectively solve the issue whenever the issue needs to be resolved, right? Because I've been on many bridge calls and everyone doesn't want to speak. Even me, I'm like, I don't want to go ahead and say whatever I got to say. That happens, and no one's really going to get anything done, right? So you want to be able to share exactly what you're working on, what the issue is, talking with other parties, whatever you're doing on the call to solve that issue is a big deal. You cannot ignore that. You cannot ignore that. It's huge for solving problems and troubleshooting, right? Because you're communicating, and sometimes it's in a high pressure environment, right? Because when you're troubleshooting, you're in a tense mode, right? Because either the customer is down or there's an outage, right? And you need to fix that as soon as possible. And if you can't effectively communicate in that manner, you're going to struggle within the tech environment because things break. As tech professionals, we're called upon, especially when you're on call, to fix things that end up getting broken. So that's kind of what we do there. So number 4 is collaboration. So I mean, you're working with team members all the time, right? That's undeniable. You work with team members, and if you cannot effectively communicate with your own team members, just think about how bad that is, right? Because at the end of the day, you're communicating with them. You're gonna need to show, who you are, what you do, and at the end of the day, your team will not go far if you're not being able to communicate with them. And it's not just your communication skills; it's about your how quickly can you respond to messages, right? Because I mean, if you're communicating, right, but you're sending messages every hour or 2 hours, I mean, what's the point? Especially if it's time sensitive. There's a lot of time sensitive activities that we do as network engineers and IT professionals, and if you're not able to effectively communicate and quickly communicate whatever needs to be addressed, especially within like a Slack or you're using WebEx, you're going to struggle. You're really going to struggle. And that's one big thing that you cannot ignore. Okay. And you're obviously, whether you're in a team meeting as well, you need to be able to tell the team what you're doing, what work have you been working on and all that stuff. And, a lot of you guys who want to get into tech are introverts. And I know being introverted can suck, right? Because obviously you don't like the environment of being able to speak to people you don't know or being the center of attention. But you have to remember, you have to get over that fear, right? It just is what it is. The more you do it, the easier it gets. That's what I always say with those kind of people. So, but yeah, team collaboration is really huge, right? So those are some of the points I wanted to bring up when it comes to your soft skills. And in terms of how can you start working on these soft skills, right? So remember, the first tactic is video, and you do not have to post this anywhere. This is just for yourself. Have your camera, your tripod, your iPhone set up, and just start talking. I would recommend you guys do this after this video if you can. Like, just try it. Just give it a shot. I know deep down, probably in your heart, you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But you have to ask yourself, this is the price for improvement, right? Just think of it as you're putting your coins in a vending machine for improvement. If you're not willing to do it, I mean, there is going to be a cost to it, right? You're not going to pay now, but you're going to pay later, right? So you just have to just think of it that mindset and just don't be afraid to work on your soft skills. Another big thing is, if you guys want to do this, there's something called Toastmasters where you can actually go to events and be able to speak at those events, right? That's huge. Another thing is just work on communicating in a manner that where you're able to speak to. I would just like reach out to new people as well. That's another easy idea. Go on LinkedIn, start having phone calls or video calls. That's huge. That really is going to be able to effectively help you improve your soft skills, right? So even me, my soft skills are not the best. I'm still working on and iterating. How can I get better? I'm even potentially hiring someone to tell me what my weaknesses are and what I can actually work on to be able to speak better. Because at the end of the day, if I can speak better, I can give you guys better information. I can make the content as best as possible, because my goal is to make the content as best as I possibly can. And in terms of improving my social skills, my soft skills, that's one big area right there, because I'm talking to a microphone right now, right? And if I'm doing that, I have to obviously get better. So don't be afraid to even pay for advice, right? That's another big thing as well, is that shows you're serious. So please do that. I know you guys are probably gonna leave this video and go to the next video and watch whatever. Please just, even if it's like just this, just have your camera here. You're watching this on your phone, I'm pretty sure. Grab your phone and actually just talk like this. Just talk. I know it's not going to be comfortable. It's going to suck. Trust me, every day you're chipping away. You're getting better and better and better. And this is going to help you with interviews. This is going to help you land positions. This is going to help you negotiate. This is going to help you move up the corporate ladder. There's a lot of benefits to this, okay? There's an extreme amount of benefits to this. In fact, this soft skills are more beneficial than technical skills. Especially right now. But people don't want to admit it. They want to focus on getting the technical skills and not really work on their soft skills. You need to be spending just as much time on your soft skills as you are in your technical skills. Okay. Another easy way to improve your soft skills as well is, while you're doing your technical skills, is to speak out loud as you're labbing. For example, if you're labbing on Packet Tracer, right? Go ahead and actually speak while you're labbing. Okay. Speak, say like, hey, you're configuring a router, a switch, a firewall, whatever. Go ahead and actually like explain what you're doing as if you're interviewing, because when you're interviewing, you're explaining what you're doing. So please go ahead and do that. That's a huge win right there. Huge win. So that's all I wanted to kind of bring up with you guys today is the importance of your soft skills and why you cannot negate them. You cannot negate them. Okay. So please go ahead, use the tactics I give in the video. If you guys really find this helpful, or you guys have any comments or any more ideas, go ahead in the comment section below and just type in or just say whatever way has helped your soft skills. Have you guys actually worked on improving your soft skills as well? All those things. Please go ahead and add that to the comment section below. And I really do appreciate your guys' viewership. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe. And thank you guys so much. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, evening, night, wherever you are. And peace.